Alright guys, welcome. This is my third time recording this video because Brawlhalla crashes if you're in training mode for too long. I'm doing a Magyar video, new patch, new legend. I figured I'd review it because this is the first major thing that's happened that I've actually been able to cover. Jaeyun came out, I hadn't been making videos yet, and Mako came out while I was at school. So I couldn't cover that either. But yeah, so we're here to go over the new character. I'm gonna do it real quick because Brawlhalla crashes if you're in training mode too long, which messes with my recording. So, alright, Magyar. We got the sigs. Side sig on greatsword, really good. Really kind of boring too. It's just like it's like Koji side sig on sword, where you can hit him with the first part and then delay the second part, or you can just do it quick like that and it's true. End sig. Ensig kind of reminds me of the Artemis glitch. Like, remember how you could charge, or you could use Artemis Scythe Ensig to just quickly fly in the air and then hit people? It reminds me of that, except not as OP. But I really like it. It's super fun and cool. And the animation for when you actually land it is sick, if I can actually pull it off. There we go. Like, it looks so cool. You put the armor on him and then stab yourself. That's badass. Down sig. At first looks like whatever, right? But this move is so quick. And the hitbox is insane. Like, look at this hitboxing. Check this hitboxing out. It goes so high. Look at that, bro. That's so high. It's like Onyx Cannon side sig. That's ridiculous. Let me actually show you what just happened in a match when I was getting ready for this video. So I was just spamming this sig to like chest it out because I hadn't gone in training mode yet. I didn't even mean to hit this guy. Look at that. Honestly, only this hitbox should be there. And look how tall that is. That's crazy. I don't think you can even see my mouse, but the only hitbox that should really be there is like the bottom one, and that sig would still be crazy good. Look how high he got hit by it. And he died from this, by the way. That killed him. That sig's insane. When that happened, I was just like in shock, like literally. So yeah, greatsword kit, super cool and fun. His side sig on greatsword's a little boring, in my opinion. Well, actually, let's go over the stats real quick. Alright, so 9 defense, that's hype. In my opinion, whenever they do cool stats like this, where it's like not just boring ass Jaeyun. Look at Jaeyun's stats, so boring. It's just 6, 5, 5, 6. Like, that's so lame. Then they add like a 9 defense. That's cool in my opinion. That's like unique, creative. It's like hype in my opinion. You can have 10 of something, that's badass. 10 defense, Soul has 10 strength, super cool. I really like that. Of course, you wouldn't want to run 10 defense because 3 speed. I think optimal stance, in my opinion, is speed because you get 5 speed, 9 defense. You only have 4 dex, and 4 strength really does not matter on greatsword or hammer. They both hit too hard for it to matter. Hammer kit, pretty swaggy. I like this side sig a lot. It's cool that he crawls, but I think the real use of this sig is just the tap version. This, when you just tap it like this, pretty quick, pretty good force too, pretty good angle. Everything about this sig is really good. It's just a good side sig. It's not OP by any means, but it's good. And then when you gravity cancel it, you are not recovering with that, unfortunately. I think it would be cool if you could recover with it, but oh well. Next sig, end sig. Deceptively good hitboxing on this sig. You'd think it would be just vertical, which it kind of is, but this right here, when the 3 eyes come out, has a ton of like horizontal coverage. Like, you can see that, but yeah, that horizontal coverage is way more than it looks. Like, you can get hit further out to the side than you'd expect by this Ensig. And then in addition to that, the hitbox goes really, really tall. This is going to be a really good sig for like team combos and stuff, I think, because like it's just like a pillar of hitboxing. Force is whatever, but it doesn't need to be really good because the sig already hits easy. Because you also get D-Light and Sig True, which is dumb, but thank you pretty much every hammer character. Every hammer character, bruh. D-Light and Sig. And then last but not least, we have this down Sig. It kind of reminds me of Petra Orb down Sig. A lot of people have been comparing it to Orion Spear down Sig, but I think a better comparison is Petra Orb down Sig. Except instead of staying above the orb, or the ball, like the hitbox, you go down with it. The hitbox travels really far, which is very good, and it has really good priority too. So I think this is actually just like a really good move. Like, look how far down he goes. The hitbox goes from the bottom of from the actual top of the map to the very bottom on Mammoth. That's pretty damn good. Like, that right there is gonna be a sick way to edge guard. Oops. So yeah, that's really good. One notable thing, you can kind of steer it. If I just hold down charge, he stands. If I start charging and move left, he moves left. If I dash and then down sig with no left or right input, he basically stays still after moving forward a little bit. And if I dash, hold side, he keeps going. If I hold back, he does slightly move back. You can barely tell, but he does slightly move backward. So this move is technically steerable, like Rayman Axe down sig, but barely. You can actually move forward a little bit and then move slightly back. You can move back a little bit and then move slightly forward. So yeah, technically this move is steerable. Overall, I like the hammer kit. Visually, it's really cool. When they did that little teaser and the sig effects weren't done, I thought the hammer kit looked kind of lame. But now that it's actually here, it's pretty badass. One more thing to quickly mention. I've got Spotify on in the background because I noticed that my videos that don't have any music in the background have do way worse in terms of retention and like to dislike. And even though, oh come on. Alright, one Spotify ad later, back what I was saying. So I've, even though I don't really care about stats or growing like that, I mean I do care, but not enough to like change my content in a significant way. I figure if I can make a better video, why not? So I've got Spotify on, which means every time I cut the video, the song's gonna cut too. But I really don't want to add songs in post because that is genuinely annoying as hell. It's just tedious. And it doesn't add anything to video creatively, it's more like just background music. So let me know what you think about that, volume and all that, and if I should add it in post and go the extra distance for slightly higher quality. But yeah, on to more important things. The Greatsword nerfs. They changed a lot. I'm not going to go through every single change, but they changed a lot. There's a few big things though. First thing, every opener, way longer recovery time on miss. This was the main thing that was OP with Greatsword, is that you could just dash side light, dash end light, side light, end light, and it was at least twice as fast as this. All the openers were unpunishable. Now they're pretty punishable, which is good. They also changed frame data on hit too. So every string is a little bit slower and more escapable. Not every single string, but practically every string, because you know you're not going to be doing that one string that didn't get changed, you know what I mean? So yeah, what is unjumpable is different now. Previously this string that used to be unjumpable, now it's jumpable after the side or the down light end light. The dash side light is now jumpable. However, you still have some really good unjumpable strings that you can do. For example, side light, dash, end light, down light, end light. I'm pretty sure side light, dash, end light, down light, side light is also unjumpable, but I seem to not be able to pull it off. But that's a 4-hit unjumpable string. That's pretty damn good, especially considering the damage and force. Alright, it seems that out of the side light, that is actually jumpable. That last side light, the down light side light, is jumpable. However, if I am correct, I believe side light, end light, dash, end light, down light, side light is actually unjumpable. Yeah, that's actually unjumpable. So now it's more situational. There's just more things to learn if you're playing. Side light into the dash, end light, down light, side light is jumpable. However, side light, end light into the end light, down light, side light is not jumpable, which is really weird. But that's a 4-hit unjumpable string and a 5-hit unjumpable string that you can still do with Greatsword. So it's not gutted, it's not that bad, you can still probably use it competitively. Like, look at that. You're gonna tell me this weapon's bad when it can do that? I still think this weapon's pretty good. As for other things, notable nerfs. Dare Nair no longer true. it's unjumpable, as we just saw. This, or he could not jump out of it. That's a pretty interesting nerf. I didn't personally think that was OP, but you know, doesn't really matter what I think. Other things, nair force reduced by a lot, which is definitely important because the vertical 0 to deaths you could do are crazy, and recovery force nerfed. That didn't kill. Last patch that would have killed him like 3 times. And also you can't drift as much with recovery. However, I don't notice this change. That's just something that they mentioned in the patch notes. Personally, I don't notice the drift changes. I still think it drifts really well. So yeah, but that's what they've changed with Greatsword. Now the only other weapon to get changed this patch is Scythe. So sidelight, soft sidelight on Scythe. Got a couple extra stun frames. You can do sidelight and light unjumpable now, which is pretty much useless in my opinion as a Scythe main. This is not the buff I wanted. I didn't think soft sidelight was bad by any means before, so I don't know why they'd buff it. What I would have liked to see is like a reverse dare buff, like more stun on reverse dare, something like that. Some hitbox changes on ground pound. That's what I would have liked to see as a buff, because sometimes it hits where it shouldn't and it doesn't hit where it should. Like here's what I mean. So in my opinion, these hitboxes should be like on the staff of the Scythe as well, like the handle, because it like you would have got hit by it if you were there. But in this, if we were talking like realistically, in this game, of course, you don't get hit by that, which is a little weird. But then oddly enough, look at that horizontal hitboxing on the last frame. Why does that hit? That doesn't make sense. That's like after the swing. So this move hits where it shouldn't and doesn't hit where it should. So I would like to see buffs there instead. Instead we got this side light and light unjumpable, which is whatever, I guess. It just makes, that's boring. Like if you're going for this, that's boring. A boring way to play Scythe. And no one plays Scythe because of it's good. People play Scythe because it's fun. So that change doesn't really do anything for me personally. Still would like to see a reverse dare buff for stun and changes to ground pound hitboxing. But yeah, I mean, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Downlight also got some more stun. I'm not entirely sure if before the patch this was the case, but now downlight Sayer is unjumpable. Two frames, okay. So last patch that was a 4-frame dodge window, or let me quickly double check that. Yeah, okay. They increased the stun by 2 frames. So last patch that was a 4-frame dodge, or maybe 5-frame on lower dex Scythe characters. I haven't labbed the dex differences on Scythe like that. But yeah, sidelight nair you just saw was 2 frames. It was already unjumpable, but that 2-frame window is gonna make it a little harder to avoid. Overall, these are really slight buffs. I think the biggest one is the downlight Sayer. If you hit a downlight on somebody and they're high health, and they're in this position, for example, instead of just doing a hard downlight, which would send them over here and be kind of wasted, you can actually get them off stage like that, which is a pretty decent buff. So I kind of like that change. But overall, only Scythe and Greatsword were touched. Alright, Brawl just crashed again, but I went on a little tangent about how all that changed this patch was Scythe and Greatsword. They didn't change hammer, bow, or spear, which are all really broken, need to be nerfed, and they didn't buff cannon or lance, which are all both pretty bad and should have been buffed in my opinion. And I'm really disappointed by that, to be honest with you. I don't necessarily think that the devs owe us players anything. I mean, it's one thing, I've bought a lot of skins in this game, but I don't think I'm personally owed by the developers. You know, I knew what I was getting into when I bought the skins. So I'm not trying to come across as privileged or spoiled or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Entitled, that's the word I'm looking for. But I'm really disappointed by this patch. Like, the last balance patch was Mako. We had to wait an entire character release for a balance patch, and all we get is 2 weapon changes. Like, what changes to 2 weapons, I should say. I mean, people complained about Qatar meta in 2019. That was only a couple months. The hammer metas existed for a year, and it's not like anybody hasn't been saying a hammer has been OP for that entire year. Every patch, people have been complaining about hammer. it still didn't change. I don't know what TWK is doing. I don't think it's really all his fault either. I mean, there's now 52 characters in this game with one guy balancing them all. It seems like an impossible task, and I think it is an impossible task. I think they need more balanced devs for sure. So yeah, I'm really disappointed in that front. But regardless, that's not all that's changed in this update. There's a few more things we have to talk about. Alright, my game just crashed for the 4th time. Apparently if you spend too long in training mode, your game will crash. But regardless, I'm going to power through. So that's not all there is to talk about in this video. There's still a few more things. So there's the last 2 things we need to talk about are the SIG changes. Jaeyun and Mako. So first thing is the sword side SIG. They nerfed the force, which is good. This is a fast SIG. It shouldn't be killing like that too early. Increased minimum charge time, which personally I don't notice. I don't play that much Jaeyun. I played him enough to use this move a lot, and I personally don't notice the increased minimum charge time. They slightly reduced the hitbox size, but you're still gonna hit it when you expect to. Like that just there would have hit probably last patch. I don't think that's a big deal though. I think the SIG is still good. And then the last change they made to it, which I actually do notice, is the recover time on miss. Look how long it takes me to dash after using it. Now the SIG is actually punishable. Good job, BMG. However, completely failed to change this SIG, which is still broken. Look at that. So fast, so much hitbox, no recovery time. I don't know how this SIG is still like this. It's more questionable decisions by BMG. On to the next character that has had SIG changes, Mako. Alright, I played a good bit of Mako, so I can speak on these. Greatsword side SIG, reduced force. However, that was not what was OP about this move. This move is still equally broken. No one used this SIG to kill. They used this SIG because you could use it, and on miss it was unpunishable because look how far you go, look how fast you go. You literally move faster than when people are running after you. So it's still unpunishable on miss. Still broken, and then you can still do this as well. This SIG is still insane. Mako down SIG also reduced force, but again, that's not what was OP about this move. What's OP about this move is the size of this hitbox, and the fact that when you start using the SIG, all you do is tap it, and you instantly get a hitbox out, this whirlpool, which confirms people getting hit by the overpowered splash. So this SIG is still broken. What they need to do is make it so this whirlpool comes out later. You have to charge more to get this whirlpool. And then reduce the size of the hitbox of the waves. Like, it's still broken. Just because it doesn't hit as hard doesn't make it less broken, necessarily. The hitboxing and the frame data, in this case, is why this move's broken. So, move's still ridiculous. Alright, on to her Qatar down SIG. They've increased recover time on miss from 10 frames to 15, which is a 50% increase. However, I don't even notice it, and I'm level 30 on Mako. I don't notice the increased recover time. That still is really quick to me. Like say you were Volkov, I did this, you tried to punish, I just end light you. To me, this SIG could use another nerf. Maybe just make it so when you steer it, you move less quickly, because the acceleration is already fairly slow, which is good, but the actual max speed you can achieve on this is insane. Like, look how fast you can go if you want. That could be a side SIG. So yeah, just reduce the max speed you can go, and this SIG would be a little more balanced. So yeah, that's all the character changes. On to test features that have been updated. They've added the last jump effect into the live game, which is pretty cool. I like that change. They've also added the new dodge effects, the new dodge graphics. I like them. I'm cool with that. They've changed the sweat effect, and honestly, I think I like the old one more. The old one was, in my opinion, more cartoonish, like in the cartoon art style. This new one doesn't look bad at all, but it's just, I think I prefer the old one. It's more in your face, it's more exaggerated. Yeah, I think I like the old one more. And the new gravity cancel, it's the same effect, but literally shrunken down as far as I can tell. It's the same animation, and I think that's a good change, because the other one was just so massive. So yeah, it's headed in a good place. As for the smoke trails, as far as I'm aware, they are the same. One thing I would say that I would like to see change to the smoke trail is they are clearly segmented. As you can see, they have different sections. So right here is, I think, 5 sections. You can see the 2 small ones after the Taros. Those are clearly 1 frame, and then a 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But I think they should rotate, like invert every single one, every other one. So for example, that first one after the Taros could look like that, and the second one, which is on the same frame of animation, could be upside down or something. That would make it so the trails are less noticeably segmented. If they just flipped over every other smoke trail, I think that would look really good and kind of sell the effect. So we'll see if they do that. One thing I didn't mention is the character and his skin, so I'm going to quickly go over that. I personally like the default skin the best. Here, let's quickly make it so we can see his eyes. Yeah, I personally like the default skin the best. I think it looks good in every single color. Pretty insane default skin on this character. As for the other skins, I think they're all cool, but they're just not like as cool as the default. Like this skin would be really cool in its own right, but it's kind of just like a knight. Like it's a badass knight, but it's still just a knight, you know? Like if it was any other character that had the skin, it'd be sick. But for Magyar, it's just like the default is just cooler in my opinion. As for this skin, really same thing as the last one. This is a badass skin, but like it's just the fact that it's Magyar's default skin. Like this is the default. This is super badass, but look at this. Like this is just so much better. So yeah, I'm gonna quickly go through the colors though. And then finally this skin, also super cool, but it's just does not hold a candle to the default skin for Magyar. Yeah. So that's my opinions on the characters and skins. He looks cool, his sigs are really cool. And we're gonna quickly play a couple matches with him. This is my current setup actually. I'm using the community colors, because I don't really have any colors from him yet. This hammer from the Bodvar, this sword, default sword. And I haven't unlocked speed stance yet. Let's see if I can do a little end sig here. Yes sir! He doesn't know the moves yet. Ooh, side sig. Look at that extension. Like that hit so far. I didn't know it hit that far. Maybe these sigs are OP. I thought this character was kind of balanced. I was saying in one of the older recordings that didn't come out that this is like the most balanced character release since like Vector, in my opinion. But now that I'm playing it, he seems a little bit more than balanced. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this character is OP. That sig is good though. The great sword side sig. Look at that. Like, he's just so fluid. I actually really like his great sword kit. His hammer kit's also cool. And also, just quick aside that I'm on 5 strength and I was able to do that much damage in that few hits. In my opinion, greatsword is definitely still competitively viable. I've only played it for a little bit this patch, but this seems very viable to me still. I don't think it's gutted like everyone's saying. It's definitely not OP anymore though. Or, let's hope. We're probably gonna have to wait till next legend to actually get any more changes, so let's hope that it's balanced how it is. That's Ensig. Oh no. This greatsword default skin is so good. I wish this was an actual skin so I could use it on other greatsword characters. Okay, that missed somehow. I'm not sure, guys. There you go. Just hit there, nair, which is no longer true, but it's unjumpable. So maybe he didn't have his dodge. I wasn't really paying attention. Even when you miss Ensig, you move so far so quickly that it's okay. Like, you're still set. Okay, I don't know how that's missing. That's kind of frustrating. Alright, 2 stock. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on Magyar. A little bit of gameplay. I think he's really cool. I think the greatsword changes are for the most part good. This patch overall though, pretty disappointing. Like, definitely cool that we got a new character. On that front, this patch is really cool. Love the new character. Visually, he's sick. Oh god, we got another Spotify ad. I really like this character, and visually and gameplay wise, but I really did not like this patch. It's really disappointing on the balance front, in my opinion. So, tell me what you guys think in the comments, but that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.